KOAT Action 7 News.
A New Mexico boy being overseen by CYFD was beaten to death.
Target 7's John Connelly found the agency responsible for protecting our children is being accused of covering up what they knew before that child died.
This boy, 4-year-old James Dunkley Cruz, was placed into the care of his mother shortly before he was found dead at an apartment complex in southeast Albuquerque in December of 2019. A recent lawsuit alleges CYFD had numerous opportunities to free him from abuse, but it never happened.
What's your name? James.
This APD body cam video shows 4-year-old James Dunkley Cruz at an urgent care in Albuquerque on October 10th, 2019.
Has he got some aloes around your ear too?
His arm bandaged up as investigators take pictures of markings on his body, including his genitals.
There's an owie down here too.
2 months later, this 911 call was made.
Ambulance, my son. He's not moving.
James Dunkley Cruz died 2 weeks before Christmas in 2019. Investigators believe he was beaten to death by his mother's roommate.
There's multiple instances of sexual abuse. And CYFD is aware of it. It's in their own records. They know, and they don't do anything about it.
Alex Kreca's law firm recently filed this civil suit against CYFD. He is representing the boy's estate. The suit says ever since the boy was born, CYFD had 8 investigations to determine any risk to James, including the day he was at urgent care. He was never removed from his home.
He should still be alive, and he should be taken care of by a family that loves him.
But what is even more concerning to Kreca are the actions CYFD allegedly took once they knew James had died. In a recent deposition, the investigator working on James's case claims she was told by her managers to delete notes they didn't want recorded in their system. She testified that she believes they were anticipating an investigation into James's death.
She took out the parts that were damning to the department, the parts where the department knew they should have taken James into custody back in October when he was at that urgent care. If you're covering up your own actions and inactions to do the very job that you're hired to do, that you're legally responsible to do, what's the point of even having CYFD?
Target 7 reached out to CYFD. In a statement they said, quote, "The department does not comment on pending litigation, but does note that the department is confident in its position and remains committed to improving New Mexico's child welfare system and preventing incidents like this from happening again." End quote. The case highlights decades of problems involving how the agency determines what to do with abused children. In January, CYFD held a meeting to discuss forming a working group. However, one day after Kreca's firm went public with his lawsuit on May 26, Target 7 obtained this document from CYFD. Dated May 27th, it announces the formation of what is being called a steering committee. CYFD confirms to Target 7 that there have not been any substantive meetings since the January 5th meeting. The committee, which is not scheduled to come together for its first meeting until the end of June, will review CYFD's current internal processes, procedures, and practices.
CYFD is the only state agency that polices themselves. When there's an issue with CYFD, you go back to CYFD.
Marilyn Beck is the director of New Mexico Child First Network, an advocacy group dedicated to improving the lives of foster children. She says more needs to be done to monitor CYFD's actions.
This is every child welfare advocate's worst nightmare, imagined worse.
Beck believes the state needs to establish an Office of the Ombudsman to overlook CYFD. She says for several of the last sessions at the Roundhouse, they've tried to pass a bill creating one, but each time it's failed, including this last legislative session.
Until we start to really bring transparency, forgiveness, take accountability and responsibility, it's not going to get better, and our children will continue to die.
If it's found to be true that CYFD employees ordered records to be destroyed, Beck and Kreca believe criminal charges should be filed against them. In a statement to Target 7, Bernalillo County District Attorney Raul Torres said in part, quote, "The matter is currently under review."
These are incredibly serious allegations.
KOAT legal expert John Day says criminal charges are possible.
There's a 4th-degree felony in New Mexico called tampering with public records. And if she was asked by several people to do it as part of a conspiracy, that's another crime.
Advocates say they hope 4-year-old James Dunkley Cruz's death will not be in vain. They also hope the boy's death will force a change in state law before another innocent child's life is lost. For Target 7, I'm John Cardinelli.
Beck says she and her agency will continue to try in the coming session to establish the Office of the Ombudsman to watch over CYFD.
Turning now to the